Right. We're good. We're filming a car we've already filmed before. Hope you guys enjoy it. Except keep it on me, keep it on me. Except this time it doesn't have 2 seats in the back, so it's a completely different car. Swear to God. And it's red, and it's more mechanically sound. It's got Honda S2000 bucket seats, and that's about it. But we're gonna review it because it's a little bit different. Oh, and it's also a little bit shorter because it doesn't have back seats. So let's get right into it. I wanted to bring you to the front here to talk about the aerodynamics of this thing. It's got this little slit right here for brake cooling. So all the air. Yeah, so he's got one over there.
I'm working on one on the other side,
but for your left side brake cooling, this is really important. And you got a light right here so you can see the air that's coming into the brake cooling. Yeah, so
performance.
That's important. This thing has a hole right here. One, a lot of air goes in there and then goes to the radiator. But 2, most importantly, your car looks like it has a smiley face on it, so everybody knows you're just good vibing down the road. Gas cap's in a different spot on Avery's car. On the white one we reviewed, the gas cap was over here. Now I'm gonna assume, because there's even that wouldn't even make any sense. What made sense in my head doesn't make sense now. I was gonna say maybe because it's a convertible, but even then, like, I don't know. It's a convertible, so they put the gas tank right here instead of the gas fill-up spot right there instead of right here. Don't know why, couldn't tell you, but thought I'd point it out.
Can I point it out?
Can you point it out? Yeah. Do you know why?
I do know why.
Oh, okay. Cameraman knows why.
Alright, so the fuel tank is right down here.
Fuel tank right down here.
But on the white one, since it's a 2+2 and there's back seats, a little longer wheelbase, and the fuel tank is pretty much right behind the rear axle.
Oh, so the fuel tank is actually in a different position?
Yeah.
Damn. But now that it's closer to the driver, we'll have... They're jamming.
Yeah.
Can you hear that? That's fucking awesome. You can show them. I think we'll hear it. They're banging out in an Audi TT. Hell yeah. Fucking fire. We're gonna review that car next. Just kidding. But yeah, you're gonna have way more weight towards the center of the car, which that's gonna increase your balance, and that's exactly what you want. So good choice by Nissan. There's a few different things I wanted to point out here. I love the rear of the Nissan 300ZX. For one, the tail light design with the 300ZX here, and then you have the reverse lights, then you have the brake lights. And is this just a reflector, or is this an actual light?
It's a blinker.
Is it a blinker? Okay, and then you got your blinker. So I love the design. Some of you guys might recognize that they have this type of design on the new 400Z as well, which is really cool how they implemented that old 90s look incorporated into their brand new 400Z. Second thing I wanted to look at was the exhaust pipes. It's got 4 exhaust tips, which is nice. So you got quad exhaust, but when you actually look under the car, it's a true dual exhaust. And then you got tow hooks for when we put it in the ditch later. You can pull it out pretty easily, which that's always nice. And one other thing you can also notice is the height of the rear. It's a lot taller than the height on the front. But the reason why that is, sorry, I'm almost falling. The reason why that is when the rear is taller than the front, you create a pressure pocket right down here, and what that low pressure pocket does is sit there and pull the ass end of the car downwards, so keeps you with a lot of grip. For being a, what year is this again?
93.
93. So for being a 19-year-old engine bay, that's not right.
Not from 93.
That'd be like 20. 19-year-old engine bay. I think I got it right. For being a no, I didn't get it right. No, that's not right.
22.
Yeah.
Plus 7.
29. 29-year-old fucking engine bay. Okay.
I can't do math right now.
Yeah, it's Saturday. My brain's turned off. Just cars all the fucking time.
No math, just cars.
Just cars. So it's got 222 horsepower. It's a 3-liter V6. That's why it says 3,000. It's not a 3,000 liter, it's a 3,000 cc. Twin cam, 24 valve for you engine geeks. You'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, no, it's super clean and I love it. And a lot of the parts has been replaced in this. So it's got some fresh stuff, some not so fresh stuff, but either way, it runs pretty damn good and it sounds pretty damn good. But it's a complicated ass motor, so don't try to work on it. Good engine bay, good motor. I wish I had a little bit more horsepower, but like I said, low horsepower is still plenty enough to have fun. So we'll see how fun indeed it is. Just thought you should know, when you turn the steering wheel, the RPMs go down. They just go down a little bit. But yeah, that's the interior. The horns, super cute. Little buttons instead of like the actual, just the center horn.
I wish they still did that.
On my car it is, on the white car.
Like buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I love the buttons.
Fun to push.
And then you have all your controls right here, which is really nice. It reminds me of a Supra. Feels like you're in like a cockpit. And so you got all your controls. The AC still works and everything. These are the thinnest like blinkers I've ever seen in my entire life. Like tiny little things. Like you'd snap it. It is an automatic. I wish we had a manual, but automatic in this car actually isn't that bad if you watch my last review. You have an e-brake because Avery drifts this a lot. Just kidding. He also doesn't have the carpet from, what carpet did I say it was from? Some mattress place, right?
Mattress Firm.
Yeah, it looks like the carpet from Mattress Firm, but this doesn't have that. It's a little bit different.
It's a nice suede.
It's like fake suede or real suede. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's
old suede.
It's really hard to keep clean, and that's probably like the only downside of not having the Mattress Firm carpet in here. But that's pretty nice. And then you got like this leather feeling everywhere.
Some nice carpet.
But yeah, then you got the S2K seats, which I love these just because I love the S2000, so these always hold me in well. It's an old car. It's nothing crazy on the inside. There's like a lot of plastic, a lot of just
So cool. Nice.
kind of cheaper stuff. But this still was like a luxurious model back in the day. That's what the X stands for, 300ZX. So
Did they have a 300Z?
no,
No.
just a ZX.
Oh.
I don't know why, but I don't know. I couldn't imagine like what would be much different. Like what's less luxurious than this? Like not to be a dick, but still has a nipple down here. See, this is more realistic to what my nipple size is. Even that's pretty big though.
What was the size before?
It's a little bit smaller than what I said it was before, but it works. Left and right nipple. Does this still work?
That one, or this one does.
What is it again? Oh, for the mirrors?
Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting place for it.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Usually you put it up here.
Yeah.
On the twin turbo model, there's like a sport mode and a.
Oh, that's
Really?
sick.
Fuck. It's got some storage space back here. Decent, not bad. So, I don't know if you could fit a body back there, but in the trunk you definitely could, which right now the trunk's full of stuff, or otherwise we'd show it, but you could definitely fit at least one body in the trunk. And you could fit probably another adolescent body. Probably shouldn't say that. But you could definitely fit some stuff in there. You could fit some stuff in there. Wink, wink. But yeah, let's fucking drive this thing. That's all I want to do is just drive it. I'm so excited. So far, feels really nice. You can hear the engine. It's not too loud in here. You can still have a conversation. It's comfortable. Just like the light one was. It was comfortable, but it was still like really stiff, like when you take a corner. And I don't know how Nissan did it back in the day, but boy, does it feel nice. The throttle response is, it's weird. You hear the engine rev, like right as you touch the throttle, but you don't actually start going yet. It's probably just like an automatic transmission thing, but the steering feels extremely nice. It's like, oh, it's right on it. It's right on the money. Very proper steering. I like that. When you move the steering wheel a little bit and your car moves right with it, for like daily driving, that could be kind of annoying because, you know, when you're daily driving, you're kind of driving a bit lazier than if you were per se like track driving. But when you're like actually like on a back road, you know, trying to do some high performance driving, like the quickness of the steering wheel, it must have a tight steering wheel ratio because it feels very nice. The quickness of the steering wheel is almost as good as the S2000, almost. but not quite. Oh, what a fucking asshole. See, don't be a jackass like that guy. Fucking Subaru drivers, dude. Now we just gotta pass him carefully. One thing in this car is like, when you get in it and you start driving it, it's a very raw experience. You can hear stuff, you can hear the suspension, you can feel everything. Everything is just so mechanical, except for a few things like the steering and a couple other components. But yeah, just the mechanical side to this car is what makes it so nice to drive. Like, you don't have cars like this anymore, being made anymore. Like, obviously there's still cars on the road, but you know, cars aren't being built like this anymore. Everything's so electric, and you know, it does everything for you. And you know, it's missing the fun part. Like, I literally get so excited to drive a manual transmission because I choose what I get to do with the revs and, you know, everything else. Like, I choose what gear I want, I choose this, I choose that. And having that power over the vehicle is what allows you to really drive it. And that's the fun part. So you don't get that anymore. So if you had an opportunity to get a car like this, I would highly recommend it, as long as it's in good condition or good shape, because you don't want it to be a money pile. But getting a car like this, if you're very used to like newer and modern cars, like if that's all you drive, get into an older car, like 90s, 80s, or you know, you can even go super old and get like a 60s. That's really raw, you know, no electric shit. But this is still plenty raw compared to what we have now. So if you have yet to drive an old car like this, I would highly recommend it, because you not only do you learn to truly appreciate these, but you also learn to appreciate the newer cars, of how much better things have gotten suspension wise and steering and stuff like that. But you still remember how much more fun it was to drive just the pureness and rawness of a car like this. And honestly, you know, you miss it. You miss it. Because at some point, cars like this won't be nearly as popular. They won't be on the road as much. You won't be able to find them as easy. But right now, you know, you're still at a point where you can still find them. They're accessible. So if you have the opportunity to buy one, pull the trigger and take it. 100%. This thing turns in really nicely, and it stays pretty flat. It's one of those few cars that when you drive, instead of it leaning out of the corner, it almost feels like it's leaning into the corner, which is hard to find cars like that. But I think this might be one of them, where when you turn, instead of you going the opposite direction, like it almost feels like the car's leaning into the corner, which is really nice. But one of the other things I wanted to point out about this car was, apart from it being able to drive fast, how fun it is just to cruise, how much of an experience it is to roll the windows down or to take the top off. We'd take the top off, but it'd be too windy for a microphone, so. But to roll the windows down and take the top off and just cruise, you know? It's super nice, and just kind of look around and fucking listen to the car, listen to the engine, listen to it as it rolls from one corner to the next. Like, it's not, when you drive this car, it isn't just driving it. It's a whole experience, and that's why I love driving this type of car. It's not just another car. It's a driving experience, and that's what you kind of miss out on in newer cars, like that STI. That STI is an amazing car. It grips so well. It does everything it's supposed to do. But this, it's just a totally different experience. It's almost like you can't compare them. It's a car experience. The car feels like it's human. It's beautiful. It really is. As you can see, the beautiful 300ZX sitting in the background behind me. It's a beautiful day to do a review, and I'm glad we did it today. But the 300ZX is the type of car you bring out on a day like this, whether it's convertible or not. You just cruise, you put the windows down, you know, you get the sunlight shining in, and you know, you hear the engine, you hear the car noises, you hear everything that makes the car so great. And then you just look at it too. You could sit at a bench like this and just admire it.
Reminisce the olden days.
Exactly. The golden era of cars, which was like the 90s, early 2000s era. We got them spaced out for the shot, you know? We got all this shit played out. 300ZX is a great car. It's nothing crazy. It's not an STI. It's not a BMW. It's a fucking 300ZX. It's an experience. It's not a car. It's an experience. Just a car you want to cruise in. You don't want to like haul ass in it. You don't want to beat it to shit. But like, you just want to cruise. Now I get it when old people are like, let's just cruise. I'm like, it's fucking boring. But in a car like that, no, 110%. So if you could get an older 90s car, especially like Japanese, 300ZX is a good choice. Just make sure you don't buy a shitty one so you don't get yourself into a money pit. But if it's a good one, snatch it up, because cars like this are gonna start disappearing, especially as we start getting like electric cars and shit. So yeah, amazing car, amazing car. I don't know if the AC will